Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Thursday for February 12th. My name is Alex Volkov. I'm an AI evangelist with Weights and Biases from CoreWeave. Thursday is brought to you by Weights and Biases, and I'm really excited about today's show. We have folks tuning in on YouTube. We have folks on Twitter Spaces. We're back. Hopefully, we're back. We'll see how this goes. We have one person on LinkedIn. Shout out to the person on LinkedIn that's joining us. And we have our own Wolf from Raven Wolf over here and Ryan Carson. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Good to see everybody.
Good to see you guys.
Hi, what a week. So much cool stuff from China.
Open source is back. Open source is back with a vengeance. And we have so much new stuff to talk about, including the breaking news, which I'm tempted to hit the breaking news button just right now, from MiniMax, the folks that previously had MiniMax 2 and other models like Hilo, I think is the right way to say this, and MiniMax 2.5 just dropped, and literally 30 minutes before. And the thing that I will start the show with is that both companies will have representatives of theirs on the show today for us to interview live. So we're gonna welcome Lou from ZAI, FKA, formerly known as Jipu AI. We have Lou to talk to us about their release, and then we're gonna have the lead researcher on the MiniMax team, Olive Song, to join us also to talk about the drop that they had. Both models are competing with the previous Opus on benchmarks. This is insane, folks. Open source is catching up super quick. Open weights, these models are now live, and I'm very, very excited. So with that, I want to say hi to everybody who tunes in. I see a bunch of folks on Twitter Spaces, and Qwen and LinkedIn and Near. We have a bunch of folks on YouTube as well, and obviously you guys. So how has your week been? Let's talk about one must-have AI thing that happened, and then we can dive into the show while people kind of pick up.
I'll go first. Wolfram, good to see you. Alex, good to see you as always. So I shipped an open source project called Ant Farm just to kind of orchestrate agents on top of OpenClaw. And people seem to like it. I'm going on Twist tomorrow to talk about it. So that was kind of what I was thinking a lot about, agent orchestration. Do you do it on top of OpenClaw? Do you do it somewhere else? Everything's changing so fast.
Yeah. How's Ant Farm doing so far?
Ant Farm is great. It's open sourcing stuff in today's world is like fascinating. It almost causes you more work because everybody
100%.
submits PRs so fast, right? So I've been like merging PRs or closing PRs or dealing with issues. So it's good fun.
That's awesome. Wolfram, how you doing?
Oh, this is the week I've been, you know what I've been up to. So the evaluation guy is back at his 40 and doing evaluations left and right, and new models come out, and I'm so excited because I find so many interesting things. And soon we will be able to talk about these, so I'm looking forward to that. This week, my highlight, actually, when it came out as Pony Alpha, I tested this model in German, and I was a bit disappointed because in German it was very weak. But now that it is released and I tested it in English, I have to say, wow, amazing. I'm really impressed, and I'm looking forward to talk more about how we can use it with some of the agentic tools that we have, but that will be a topic for another time. For now, my highlight of the week, GLM5. And there are more highlights. It's hard to say, but right now, if I have to pick one, I will pick this.
100%. Ryan, so Ant Farm is something you built. How about an update, one important thing in the AI week from you?
I think it's got to be Anthropic. I mean, it dropped right at the show last week, but using Anthropic's agent team orchestration, I think that's the thing I'm most excited about, is seeing, these team primitives released into the SDKs, and I think OpenAI is going to be next. So we'll see.
The team primitives, the multiple non-sub-agent way to run agents?
Correct. Yeah. The agents can talk to each other. You can orchestrate the agents. I think teams is the future. And so the question is, what are the primitives that we're allowed to work with? I'm sure Codex is going to release, something soon on that. So
I heard that we're gonna have 2 breaking news releases just today. Not something I know of in advance. I did know about the open source models, and I will just say, folks, we have our own weights and biases core with inference, and we have day 0 support for GLM5, and we're going to work really, really hard to get you MiniMax 2.5 as well. And so if you want a little bit of credits, I will just point you to our main account, and I'm probably going to link this in the show below so that you'd be able to claim some credits because, top tier intelligence doesn't come cheap, but we're going to give it to you cheap. So for me, the absolute excitement of the week was, you know what? I'm not going to go with LLMs. You guys went with LLMs. I'm going to go with fucking Seedance that broke my brain this week. Just absolutely broke my brain. If your feed is not full of Seedance videos yet, it will be so very, very, very soon. ByteDance released an announcement today that Seedance is official, but also they pre-released Seedance on a bunch of their platforms. ByteDance, obviously, the folks who built TikTok, and they've trained it on everything. They literally, I'm pretty sure that our faces are in there, Ryan Wolfram, like our faces are in there, like I'm pretty sure. But also every Hollywood movie, every Hollywood actor, every, there is a story about a Chinese influencer that like all he needed to do is put his face and say, me saying something. It was like almost perfectly his voice because they just literally trained on everything. So from the copyright perspective, not great. From everybody gets their head blown away because Seedance is just a huge jump in capabilities. It's really crazy. So I will say that Seedance is mine for sure, and
it's my second choice.
Yeah, it was your second choice.
Yeah, definitely.
All righty. All right, folks. So we're gonna start with a quick TLDR, and then we're gonna have a chance to chat with Lou from ZAI about GLM, and then we're gonna continue with the show. With this, I want to just see if Yam is with us. Yam Peleg, what's up, man? How are you doing? Coming through with a little bit
pixelated,
a little pixelated, yeah. But all right, we'll figure it out.
As usual. Crazy week.
Yeah, tell us about one thing in the world of AI that you're absolutely not gonna miss.
My API bill has grown just a little bit this week. I don't know, twice, 3 times, but man, I'm finding the snacks at Anthropic's office like real good. I'm really funding their snacks, man. Seriously, I hope you get good food over there, guys.
Anthropics?
Seriously. Oh yeah.
Yeah, one news item I need. I need one news item.
Oh, GLM. It must be GLM.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Yeah, GLM for sure.
All right. And just because she's smiling, okay, I had Lou here. Hey, Lou, welcome. We're gonna do the TLDR, but I want to introduce you guys to Lou from ZAI, and we're gonna chat with her very, very soon. But first, we're gonna run through everything that we have to talk about on the show for this week in a corner called TLDR or TLDW. Too long didn't watch. I don't know, or didn't listen. So we're gonna do a TLDR super quick because there's a bunch of stuff to talk about, and then we're gonna be chatting with Lou.
Sure.
Alrighty, this is it. This is the TLDR. This is everything that happened in the world of AI that we're going to cover on this week's show, starting with obviously the open source models, open source LLM, open source intelligence has been absolutely blowing up this week, following the crazy last week where we saw live on the show, we saw drops from OpenAI's new Codex model that's absolutely bonkers, and Anthropic's 4.6. It's just like, it was crazy. So we're gonna continue today on the show. Your host is Alex Volkov, an AI evangelist with weights and biases. Of course, our co-hosts are Wolf from Raven Wolf, Jan Peleg is here, Ryan Carson, Nistin is gonna come back. I'll DJ at some point. Our guest today is Lou from ZAI, and we have MiniMax folks as well. Olive Song from MiniMax. Lou, ZAI. I'm going to add this as I'm talking. ZAI. And of course, open source is absolutely dominating this week. Just domination across the board, folks. If last week was the week of the big labs, this week we're going to cover two major releases. One of them released just yesterday, one of them today. Let me zoom in here for you. So let's go like this. Yeah, okay. Let me try to zoom in here. Okay, so GLM5 is the breakaway open source model of the week. Just released yesterday, already up on Weights and Biases Inference, by the way, and we're going to tell you all about how to get it. GLM claims the open source coding crown with just like incredible performance. We're going to talk about all of this. The highlight there is Vending Bench is a very interesting benchmark about real world tasks, but there's a bunch of other ones. 744 billion parameters with only 40 billion active. We're going to mention everything, including the fact that they significantly updated the amount of training tokens that they use to train this model. And obviously, we have representatives of ZAI here on the show to talk to us about this. Following this, just today, just 30 minutes ago, MiniMax released their updated MiniMax 2.5, which is, they claim, state-of-the-art at coding. We're going to compare between them. Swebench verified at 80%, 80.2%. Swebench verified is a very difficult benchmark for coding performance. And with 2,000, with 200,000 tokens in the context window. This model is absolutely a beast, and we're going to chat about that one as well very soon. Following this, we're going to talk about big companies and LLMs and APIs. There's a big drop of folks from XAI, Elon's company, following the acquisition of SpaceX. SpaceX acquired XAI. XAI previously acquired X. So now, if you're tweeting, you're basically tweeting on a space company dime. But a bunch of co-founders of XAI announced their departure. It wasn't clear, and then Elon went on a whole spiel talking about the future of XAI in the space, plus restructuring. So we're going to talk about the restructuring there. A bunch of co-founders also announced their departure. Then Anthropic released a very interesting document for Cloud Opus 4.6, a sabotage risk report, and assumably this model is like much more riskier. So we're going to talk about this a little bit as well. OpenAI upgraded their deep research to the 5 series. Deep research previously was based on 4 series. What the heck? Still, advanced voice mode is 4, but deep research now is 5 series with app integrations. So if you're doing deep research from OpenAI, definitely worth checking out. In this week's buzz, we have an announcement that we have put GLM5 day 0 support on our inference service, and plus we also updated with Kimi K 2.5, which is also multimodal. So you'd be able to do all kinds of stuff with inference, including run them to Cloud Code, OpenClaw, etc. And I think the big one, and I wish I was able to use this more than the 2 times. Seedance from ByteDance, Seedance2 is. Let me put my just like for dramatic effect. Seedance2 shatters reality limits to the way that the first Sora shattered reality limits when we saw it first time. Seedance2 is a new video model, and it's just absolutely mind-bending in the character consistency and the physics and the sound. It's really like if you folks are tuning in on Twitter Spaces, you should tune in on the video channel when we get to the Seedance part, because it's just going to be like breaking your mind. The downside is, unless you have a Chinese phone number, it's really hard to use this model because they put it up and they took it away. But it was announced today. It supports 9 images as reference, plus 3 videos, plus 3 audio clips. Just absolutely bonkers model that shatters reality for us. So we're going to chat about Seedance a bunch as well. Folks from Qwen launched in AI Art and Diffusion. Folks from Qwen launched Qwen-image2. It's a 7 billion parameter image generation model. It's near Sora, and it's really cool. Hard to launch image models now with Nano Banana Pro. I've been around for such a long time, but they did this anyway, and it's absolutely a great model with 7 billion parameters. In the tools, we're going to announce 2 things here, and we're going to probably talk about NFarm as well from our own Ryan Carson. But in the tools area, entire a new company raised a $60 million seed to build open source developer platform for AI agents, backed by the previous GitHub CEO, Thomas. And then Chrome launches something very interesting, WebMCP. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but definitely worth talking about that for the show. And the last but not least, I want to mention that our own Ryan Carson released AntFarm. And I would love to have a chance to talk about AntFarm as well. With this is the TLDR. Folks, I know for a fact there's going to be more breaking news today. Sam Altman just posted something about, we have an update. I think we know what the update is, but we're not going to tell you because we're not speculating. I will add Nistan to the show to ask his one thing in AI, and then we're going to chat with Lou, head of DevRel at ZAI. What's up, Nistan? With your new haircut, what's up? Muted, Nistan. We're going to wait. Yam, you're coming through loud and clear. Beautiful. No pixels. Everything's fine. Perfect. All right, Nistan, give us one more try, or we're going to jump over and talk with Lou from ZA. Okay, we're going to move over. GLM5 is finally here, folks. And I would love to introduce, first time on the show, Lou from ZAI. Folks, I'm going to take you off the stage so that me and Lou are going to have a little chat. Jump in if you have any questions, if you don't mind. Lou, welcome to the show. It's great to see you. It's great to
Good to see you, Alex.
It's very, very late for you, right? So I definitely know this. Please introduce yourself. We're not going to take too much of your time, but please introduce yourself to the folks, and then we're going to dive into the release that you guys have.
Okay, so huge thanks to Alex for giving GLM this opportunity. I appreciate it. And I'm Lou, head of DevRel at ZDogAI. So GLM5 was just released yesterday, and today I'm here to step away from the coding angle and try to talk about what agents can actually do for us right now. And along the way, we'll get a feel for what's new and improved in GLM5.
Alrighty. First of all, thank you so much for joining. I know, again, it's late, and you guys have been through a release, and it's like bonkers. Everybody's using this model. It's great at coding. I had a chance to test it out on my open client instances. By the way, it's absolutely great. So I have a few questions for you. We're gonna obviously talk about some evals, etc. But I have a few questions for you. We've talked about GLM since before you were ZAI. I think since GPU days, and I keep updating folks about the new name, but I think it's time to just say ZAI. GLM 4.5 was definitely a great coding model. 4.7 beat that. What makes this one a whole major release update versus just a 4.8 or 4.9? What makes this 5?
So I would say the upgrades in GLM5 are pretty significant. First, the scale has increased a lot because we pushed the model's general intelligence to a higher level with much larger pre-training compute. Yeah, and then we introduced a brand new asynchronous reinforcement learning framework called SLIM. It largely improves the efficiency of post-training with RL. And plus, we adopted a DeepSeek sparse attention mechanism. It preserves long context performance while dramatically reducing deployment costs. So if I had to sum it up in 4 words, I would say bigger, faster, better, and cheaper.
Bigger, faster, better, and cheaper. Choose all of them together. This is great. I want to talk about some of the evals and benchmarks that you guys are most proud of, because I know that some running after benchmarks and climbing those hills is definitely in the cards, but some of the more the ones that you highlighted the most, I think, on your post was, let's take a look. So Humanity's Last Exam, you guys compare yourselves to the previous GLM here. Folks who are not watching, we're looking at the evals chart here from ZAI themselves, and they have a bunch of comparisons to Claude Opus 4.5 and Gemini 3 Pro. There is a few benchmarks in which you guys are beating Gemini 3 Pro. Gemini 3 Pro is a huge model from Google, and yet there's an open weights model now with 744 billion parameters. We can talk about the scale as well, that you guys are beating in open source. So tell me about how the team kind of works around okay, which benchmarks we're gonna like try to hit? Is this a continual training of the model, and which is like you watch performance, and at some point you say, okay, this is enough? Tell me about tell me about what makes this model special.
Okay, Alex. So, you invited me here, but I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about coding benchmarks.
All right,
I
yeah,
see
okay.
without like carefully designed, like high difficulty benchmarks, it's getting harder and harder to tell the upper limits of a model just from simple task cases. So, in everyday scenarios, the differences aren't always obvious. A lot of what sets models apart now comes down to like prompting habits and each model's inherent like reasoning style and preferences. So I know like from some point somehow I just don't care too much about like benchmarks and more about like differences between models because I don't think it's supposed to be like very competitive like between models. I mean, yeah, every model have this feature, but for us, we're like the coding soda, I would say. Yeah, we're really put a lot of effort on coding capabilities.
So you mentioned something about like the switch to agentic as well. I would love to talk to you about this. You guys mentioned the switch from vibe coding to agentic engineering. I think Peter from OpenClaw also talks about agentic engineering and vibe versus vibe coding. So what in this model is focused on kind of the agents, multiple back and forth conversations. Could you talk about this? Like, have you guys like looked into this? I saw somebody post interesting things about running for like 24 hours. Would love to hear from you how you guys thinking about, okay, models used to be back and forth questions and answers, and now people are using them for long running tasks, for running 17 open clauses, coordinating each other with on-farm, like a bunch of other stuff. So would love to hear from you, from an actual lab that releases these models, how the world into shifting to agentic engineering has impacted you, and how you approached building this model with that in mind.
Sure. So I literally think like we step into the era of like agentic engineering. Like from my own hands-on testing, GLM5 on agent tasks really holds up. It handles like multi-step decomposition well, calls tool when needed, pushes tasks forward on its own. Like the overall task completion quality feels like it's getting real. And I've seen a lot of developers already shipping pretty complex coding workflows with it. So now that the model is fully live, I'll be sharing more of my own build experience over next few days. And also feel free to reach out anytime. I love to exchange ideas. But this year really feels like it's shaping to be a year of personal agent, like from Claude Core to OpenClaw and GLM5 and other agentic like models are getting stronger fast. With MCP connecting external services, agents can navigate, fetch data, browse the web, etc. And their reach just keeps expanding. So and also like scales are becoming scenario-based workflows. So you define the process once, almost like an SOP, and the agent can execute it. And memory in like interactions with agents, like AI starts to build a real understanding of your habits, I think. And over time, it feels like a tool you prompt and more like a system that you actually know how you work. And I think that's cool.
I think from a tool to a system to an entity that you interact with, many of us have open claws that now we have built the memories, and now we talk to them as another kind of entity that we talk about. I want to ask you about this. This is like very, very cool. Artificial analysis. Shout out to artificial analysis, by the way. They have this hallucination omniscience benchmark, and they put GLM5 at the lowest range. I don't know if you have even seen this, but probably you guys work with them. They put GLM5 at the lowest range. Lowest means the best here in terms of hallucination. So for the omniscience hallucination rate, GLM5 gets only like 34% of hallucinations. We can talk about other models that they're getting like almost like 92% in hallucinations. What causes this? How is how's the model hallucinated that little? Is this has been from your experience as well running this model?
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of like they say it's too slow for them, etc. Once the model release. But I would say like GLM5 is more like milestone, even though it's not very quick. It's not a perfect model, but it has its own like scenarios. So I would use this model to when I want a task to be perfect and have this amazing output effect. I will use this model instead of like GLM for 4.7 or 4.7 Flash. So I think AA artificial analysis definitely show the results itself. There's no need there to say anything at all because it just there and people just know. Yeah, it says a lot from that.
So a few follow-ups and we'll let you go because we know we're like mindful of your time at night, but I want to ask you about two things. I want to ask you about vending bench. Vending bench is, for folks, just a refresher, vending bench is from Labs, I believe. They basically have this benchmark where it's a real world task. They give a model the chance to run a vending machine with access to restocking, etc. Would love for you to talk about how working with vending bench or running vending bench was for you guys, because it looks like state of the art. This is not a coding benchmark at all. This is like a real world task with emails. I think there's a bunch of other stuff. GLM ended with 4,432 final balance, approaching Cloud Opus 4.5, and just the fact that open source models, open weights models, are catching up to the frontier models this quick is just mind-blowing to us. We've been covering open source for a long time, so would love to hear from you how you saw like the vending bench work happening, and then I would love also to like figure out where to tell people where they can use GLM, because I know you have a coding tier. There's a bunch of stuff that I would love to hear from you for this, but vending bench first.
Okay, so I think GLM its style is first agentic, and also it kind of go low key compared to other models. So we take some also the capability of calculating and how in business scenario, and also more solid scenarios like what are scenarios um like I think like vending oh my god, I have
Vending
no
bench.
words.
It's all right. It's all right. It's late, and you're
No,
after release. We get it.
just it's the first time that I got asked this type of question, and I had
All right, so
never really thought why we gotta do this.
all right, so we're not gonna put you on the spot too much. Let's talk about availability, okay? So first of all, I can say we worked with you guys. You gave us a little heads up, and so GLM5 is now available on weights and biases. But also, I think obviously you guys have your own platform for a while, and you guys have been like serving multiple things. And plus, there's a coding tier as well. Could you walk us through the offerings of GLM on your own platform and how you think folks should be accessing this model, given it is open source, MIT licensed weights, but it is 744 billion parameters, so it's not like people can run this on their GPU at home.
Sorry, my connection didn't go well. What's your last word?
I'm asking about availability of the model, where folks can use this besides weights and biases, and you have a coding plan as well. Would love to for you to tell folks about that one.
Okay, so GLM5 was just launched yesterday. We're still on this rolling out thing, for coding plan users from Max to Pro. A few hours ago, we just opened for coding plan Pro users. And me personally, because I do develop some applications and other stuff, do some goofy stuff as well. I like GLM 4.7, how it performs in OpenClaw, and also I use it in Discord and WhatsApp to just like serve let it serve as agent or robot to do something instead for me, and it performs really well, and the accuracy is awesome as well. And also, I think when you do slides, you often go to like Kimi Moonshot or some other models, because once you see they release some new model, the whole aesthetic thing is really like shocking. But GLM is actually performs really good as well, which shocked me a little bit, because I often think that's our shortcomings, but it performs well, and I use like slides function this feature a lot.
Awesome.
So
Well, thank you,
yeah.
Lou. Thank you for coming and talking about the model as well, folks. Absolutely can test out the model. It's available on Open Router from day zero on your own platform. There's a coding tier as well, and $1 input and $3.20 output on weights and biases, folks. It's like almost nothing. I will tell you guys how to get this for free. I'm gonna bring back the co-host here, and Lou, if you're able to stay for one more question, I think Wolfram had a follow-up, but otherwise we are going to definitely do some discussions about this model.
Yeah, I found it very interesting that you not just released a model, you also released basically a Terminal Bench 2 verified. So you or your people went through the benchmark and improved it. Do you think that is the new one to use, or do you have any information about this? Because I found it notable.
For what? Sorry, because
That you
I gotta
not only released
start
the model, but you also released an optimized, corrected version of the Terminal 2 benchmark, which is, for me, as an eval guy, basically very interesting. If I should use this version or the old one, or if you have any information about this. I found it very notable.
Yeah, me too. Because actually for these benchmarks is actually some of my colleagues from my team, they come up with some idea, they go through like some research, and they think, oh, we should do that, we should definitely do that, and see how we could like evaluate the model further. So that's why like we tested, and it amazingly go well. And it's actually like few months ago we started this kind of thing, and now we just see that how it models outperforms in this bench. So we keep going, and to when we train model, we just put more effort, put more attention on this. Yeah.
All right, Lou, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the questions. Vending mesh is very, very interesting. We're going to continue talking about the model. We know it's fairly late for you there, so congratulations on the launch. Regards from our teams. We always applaud open source here on the show, so thank you so much for releasing the model for everybody to be able to use. Again, 744 billion parameters, not something that people can just use at their house, but still, the fact that open source is catching up to the frontier labs in this space is astonishing to see, and it's great to have you here on the show. Feel free to come back when you guys release more models as well. So our compliments to the team. Thank you, Lou. And we're going to continue talking about the model here and the other models meanwhile, but we're going to say bye-bye to Lou. Thank you for joining us. Folks, panel, what do we think? This is, first of all, a huge shout out to Lou for joining. It's 1 a.m., if you can believe it, in Shanghai. And she's joining despite everything. I don't know if I'm going to be able to live stream like this and get questions from Alex at 1 a.m. with the energy, but holy shit, GLM5. Nistan, would love to hear from you. You're back. Microphone works. Tell us, what do you think about GLM?
I made a fun animation of all the weights and stuff, and I find it pretty interesting now that they're using the DeepSeek architecture. So they're using a lot of the
DSA stuff, right?
Yeah, but also overall, like the way that they share the experts, and the way the gates switch between shared and not shared experts in the pool. It's mostly the DeepSeek still from the DeepSeek architecture. So this was the change that I found pretty interesting. I would like to see where people go with fine tuning it as they go along, because this is good enough now for people to carry on work, and like as you go along, can you keep making it better, or can people start adapting it for their own code base? That's where this is going next. I don't find it quite at Opus 4.5 still, but it is close enough and it's reliable enough that now is becoming like you might actually want to consider it for daily agentic use stuff if you have the repeatability part as like a more important factor. If like the different changing qualities, or sometimes Opus is good or not good, like if that does harm your work, you might actually want to consider this at this point. So it's getting pretty crazy how fast the catch up is happening.
And we have a bunch of offerings. Folks are posting in the show. Like we have Kimi 2.5 and then GLM and MiniMax 2.5 that just came out. Open source is catching up like super quick, especially for agentic stuff. Now the kicker is we talk about kind of comparison to Opus or not comparison to Opus, but on price performance, these models absolutely mug Opus in every possible way. Maybe not on speed, but definitely on price. All of these companies now come up with their own Max. I don't know if you saw. We're going to talk about MiniMax as well, but they have the Max plan or coding plan, and it's significantly cheap. It's like $300 a year or something versus $200 a month. Not even that. So that's very interesting. The thing that I didn't get a chance to talk to Lou is that they train GLM on Huawei. So GLM is not trained on NVIDIA chips anymore. Like they trained on Huawei, and the GLM5 series of models is not up on their coding plan yet because they're like they're restricted in their ability to like service with GPU. So despite the fact that they're training the model with twice the size, let's actually walk to the numbers. They're still like they're still stressed for some GPU power. Let me add this. But I would love to hear from any other of you, for folks who like use this model or read about this, or comments that we want to talk about, specifically benches.
Well, real quick, I just want to say I love seeing the competition, because what we want to happen here is for a really good open source model that can rival, it close to an Opus or a codex for people to run OpenClaw locally, right? Because I'll say folks are starting to run some pretty heavy workflows with AntFarm, and it can get expensive, right? Yep. It's on a cron job. So let's go GLM5. Like, I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, we should mention though, locally is a bit of misnomer here. Usually when we cover open source, we say like, there's Qwen model, Qwen 7 billion parameters, Mistral, whatever. These models are approaching whatever the big labs used to release a year ago in size. We don't know really, but like 744 billion parameters. You need some chunky hardware to get to run this locally, right? But I think that Ryan, you're absolutely right. People want to run multiple agentic processes going on while they sleep. Or maybe we should talk about the vampire effect from Stevie Ege and the release as well. But a lot of stuff is happening kind of behind the scenes and looping, and folks are at some point, okay, maybe I don't need 4.6's intelligence for every task that I have. Maybe smaller tasks like documentation. Why would you need like super deep intelligence for documentation, for example? And maybe I don't want to send all my credentials to Anthropic. So there's definitely now choices in the open source for this. So we're gonna run super quick through some of the evals, and then we're gonna chat with Olive from MiniMax about the upgraded breaking news model for MiniMax 2.5. But I do want to like run through some of the evals because I think that they're important here. Humanity's Last Exam, I think, is the number one. I wish I could zoom in a little bit here. Humanity's Last Exam, I think, is the biggest one, biggest jump here, with 50% Humanity's Last Exam beating Anthropic's 4.5 and Gemini 3 Pro and GPT 5.2. They didn't measure on 5.3; it just came out. But just like differences across the board. The hallucination one, I'm very interested to see other open source models doing, like getting 34%, the lowest score on the AA hallucination rate is definitely impressive. Yam, would love to hear from you if any things from you on this model, about the size, about the training scaling up from 23 parameters to 28.5 trillion parameters. What?
Bro, it's a model that can run general computer use close to being free. Like that's the situation. I mean, that's crazy. You know, we used to talk about terminal bench and performance on coding and so on. Bro, look what's going on GitHub. The vast majority of usage for these models at the point is probably not necessarily just code with everyone that are using them. So when you have a model that can run general computer use, that's basically the thing, with OpenClaw and so on, you not only that you might not need, you for sure don't need Opus 4.6 for every single command, because most of them is most of what people do with OpenClaw, except for extreme people on X, is general computer use day to day. Check my calendar, remind me what's going on over there. That's very useful. Everyone understand that's very useful on its own, and you don't need such a powerful model to do that. And I'm not saying that you got something that you can run locally. It depends who you are. Some people might, but for most people not. But the price, even for not running it locally, man, that's a completely game changer at this point. And yeah, I definitely did run it for code. It's an absolute great coding model. It's not just benchmark. I completely agree that we can talk about the benchmarks, but it's not just the benchmarks. It's just a good model for coding in real life. So
Yep.
Absolute great release. Seriously, it was pretty quiet. You know, it was silent. I didn't get it. Like, silently they released GLM5 and people caught up with it. Pretty, and maybe I'm too overly sensitive after exactly the opposite, actually. Maybe my sensitivity went down after what we saw last week, so like people can release the state of the art and I don't even notice, but yeah, it was quite
I think
quite silent.
I agree with you on the sensitivity, but we're here to make sure that like people know what's going on. Last week was absolutely the time for bigger labs, and now this is the time for open source. 2 models back to back, nearly state of the art, if not state of the art, on multiple open source agentic benchmarks, including beating frontier models from just before. So like we're catching up super quick. So I would love to introduce Olive from MiniMax. Let's see if Olive is with us to the show. Welcome, Olive. How are you doing?
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you again. We met together. I think was that in New York for AI Engineer, right? You gave a talk there.
Yeah. I think 2 months or 3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 months ago.
I've been training this model since then, so I'm so excited about sharing.
Let's go. All right. I'm excited to talk to you about. All right, folks, I'm going to take you off the stage. Feel free to come back if you have any questions as I introduce Olive Song from MiniMax. But before this, Olive, we have a special thing that we do when the breaking news happens during the show. And since the model just launched, we're going to do breaking news. AI breaking news coming at you only on Thursday AI. All right, the announcement that we have, and I'm going to let Olive to do the announcement herself, is that a new model has just dropped, and I think you are taking state-of-the-art on open source on multiple benchmarks. Olive, how about you tell us about what just dropped, and then you can introduce yourself as well to folks who haven't saw you before.
Yeah, definitely. So we just launched MiniMax 2.5, right? It's the new version of our model. We had a lot of SOTA scores on the benchmarks, and as you can see on the blog, we're improving very fast. And okay, actually, Alex, do you have like a slide or something about?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up right now. So I have my own thing, but I'm gonna pull it up right now. Give me a second. We're gonna go like this and then present. Until I find the actual full release that you have, we're gonna go like this.
Okay, I'm still on the breaking news thing.
Yeah. All right, can you see the screen now? Can you see some of the stuff? So I'm looking at Sweetbench Verified, and this is absolutely the most breaking thing. Sweetbench Verified is a difficult benchmark. Would love for you to talk about like what it is to train a model that beats it, but 80.2% on Sweetbench Verified, which is the harder version of Sweetbench, versus even Opus 4.6. Is that Opus 4.6? That's like you guys are very, very close to?
Very close, but not yet, but very close.
Yeah.
We're still scaling, but please go on.
Yeah. So I think the multiple things about MiniMax is that you guys are all around multimodal lab, right? It's not only like language models. You guys have been great at like voice. I think for a longest time on the show, I've talked about, MiniMax voice as being one of the top voices that sounds the more natural as well. And then MiniMax, kind of the LLM has been has not. We featured this on the show, but I remember like at some point you guys started like scaling up super quick. So maybe can you start with like the scale? You can talk to us about the scale of this model and the training size, etc. And then we're going to talk about some benchmarks more.
Sure, definitely. So for this version of the model, we achieved higher scores, of course, in coding benchmarks in a lot of benchmarks, right? Searching and general tool use. And our model also excels in several like professional settings, in workspace settings. It can use Excel very well and stuff like that. And then if we go into how we scaled it, I would say reinforcement learning. And that's the part that I spent most time in as well. So what we noticed was that with reinforcement learning, you can actually scale the model's capability to a very high performance, even with a smaller model, right? Because we can see that our model is not that large. It's only 10B active parameters, and it's very fast. And so people would doubt its intelligence for a very long time. But then what we realized is that there's a lot of potential with a small model like this. Still a lot of potential if we train reinforcement learning on it, if we train it on very large amounts of environments and agents, right? But it's not a very, very easy thing to do, because scaling up the compute or scaling up the algorithm, scaling up the environment, scaling up the agents are all not very easy. So that's what we spend a lot of time in. That's, I think, on the blog we do talked a little bit about our RL framework, which is called Forge. So we designed, what we designed was that it's very, I would say it's very decoupled and disentangled, so that you can actually train on every sample a different agent, a different strategy of training, so that, and they don't interrupt with each other during the training, right? So we have diverse tasks. It's not just like, for example, bug fixing. There's like from 0 to 1 writing up a repo, or like from or like the model working in a very complex environments with a lot of tools and different agents. So what we achieved was that during our training with our design and with our algorithm, we could, like, the samples don't interrupt with each other, and we could train it very smoothly. And we did a lot of work on that. And that's how we scaled the performance in many, many agents, because we could see that it's not only good in, for example, the very mainstream agent products, it's also good in multiple other environments. And that's what we care about, because people want to use the model in multiple products, in multiple environments, doing multiple different tasks. And that's how we achieved it.
Yeah, this is great. I have a few questions for you about specific training and size as well. I think the highlight that comes to mind when you guys release a model like this, you get like around 57%, I think you guys quoted on M2.5 win rate at 15 cents per task, versus Opus 4.6, which was like almost like $3, $2.5, 15 cheaper. And I would love to understand, like, is this just the size, or what's the architecture that gets to this performance? I'm reading about 100 tokens per second for multiple things. Could you tell me about, like, what's the architecture that like lets you get this performance from this model?
Yeah, definitely. So our architecture didn't change from our M2 and M2.1, right? We share the same base model, including M2 HER. So it's still like 10 be active parameters with 200 parameters in total. So it's a very small model itself. And then I think a thing we cared a lot is just, as you said, the speed, right? The efficiency of the model, because that's what people care in coding scenarios or in developer scenarios or like, co-working scenarios, right? So during our task optimization or like during our training, we took that as one of the top priorities. So we did not only care about like the scores and stuff, right? What we took in our signals was the like end-to-end time of the task performing. Because you can see in 2.5 that the total time it decreases from 2.1, right? And it's significantly in multiple tasks, including coding and search and stuff, right? It uses less tools, for example.
Yeah.
It thinks less, for example, and that matters a lot to users because that means less money and less time of waiting, I would say. So you can spend less time and less money on the task, and then it performs good.
Yeah.
And we put that as one of the top priorities in reinforcement learning training.
Olive, one thing that I've noticed, we noticed on the show, would love to talk to you because like you're training these models, you're thinking about the verifier algorithms and how long it thinks for, right? So with around a year and a half ago, the whole reasoning paradigm, test time compute, etc., came to part, and everybody caught up super quick. And at some point, we noticed just like bloating of tokens in the thinking process to achieve the same goal. And now it looks like we're going through a process of like, hey, we want to get to the same goals while thinking less, but still thinking, but thinking less. Is this also that something that you guys are working on, like training, like getting? Is this part of the verifier score, for example, that you guys posted as well, like achieving to the same score but thinking less, but still doing performance?
Yeah, definitely. Because there's we look at the traces, right? The model sometimes is not very efficient in its thinking or its tool calling. We will share more details in a blog that we will post later on our reinforcement learning training. But what we noticed that the model itself wasn't that efficient, but then we can still make it more efficient. It's not only the thinking tokens, it's also the tool calling behavior. For example, right, the model now knows how to use a spec, for example. Then it knows how to plan and then achieve the task more efficiently.
I got you. Let me see the follow-up question that I had. Yeah, about the improvement rate. You guys have boasted about this, and definitely worth like shouting out this graph. Do you have the improvement rate 3.5 months after October? You successfully reached M1, M2, M2.1, and M2.5, and you're improving very, very fast. Can you attribute this to a single factor, or is it a mixture of all? Like, I know I'm going to put you on the spot here, but is this data and improvement in data? Is this just RL? Is this scaling up compute? Is this some combination of three? Where would you put kind of the weight on top of like, how is this rate of performance happening? Because you guys are scaling up super quick, and it's incredible to see that you're also doing open source while you're doing this.
Yes, it's definitely a mixture of all, because we all know that data is very important. And then training is very important. Training speed is important, right? And then also one thing that people might forget sometimes, but is super important, is evaluation or task definition. So you can notice in our development of the model, we release several benchmarks each time. Is that defines like how we think of the problem and how we actually evaluate the model's performance, and that's how we plan to perceived in the future. So like it's a mixture of all, right? I would say all equal ways to all people in our team, even including right. So it's a mixture of all, definitely.
I got you. I want to follow up. Also, be mindful of your time, but like I want to follow up on the commitment to open source. Could you talk about this? This is like very incredible because we're now, and we just talked with Lou from GLM folks as well, and I love the camaraderie. I love the fact that their Twitter account like went like this when you guys just released yours. I love the fact that like the folks in open source is like collaborating on and talking about their methods, so that collectively we get better intelligence. Love that. So shout out to you and the team for open sourcing as well. Question about a specific commitment to open source at some point? Are you guys? I know that you guys launched the consumer company as well. Could you talk about the kind of how you're thinking about open source, why open source, and whether or not you're going to continue releasing these models with open weights?
So as a researcher myself, right, I think open source for me is a very good way of communicating to like research stuff with the community, and then bridging the gap of research, how we imagine things or how we develop things, and how people actually use the model. With open source, right, there's a very large community that all people share their different ideas, share how they think of the future of artificial intelligence, how they think of how it will power productivity, for example. And then with the open source, we can actually keep all the advice and then put that in our model, and we can iterate very fast. And we can, let everyone be able to use the model to reflect back to the model and then improve the model to everyone.
I also noticed there's a M2.5 lighting, right? Is that something? I'm looking at the blog and I was like, I wanted to ask you about the kind of the two models and the differences, because the main model is fast enough. I think you have like a very high speed tokens per second. Did you talk about the lighting version?
I think that is part of how we start. That's one type of API, I think. So on my end, it's just one model weights, but I think there are different. Yeah, I'm not an expert in that. So comment under MiniMax.io and then ask the question.
Yeah, that makes sense. Olive, many folks from different areas work on this model. Anybody's work or anybody kind of like exciting, how should I say, findings about when you trained the model that came to mind that you want to share with us? Any like funny tidbits? I know that a while ago there was like this aha moment that people like saw the model think for the first time, and then like researchers like, okay, cool. You're now scaling. This is not the new model. This is basically like continued training, I'm assuming, and then at some point you guys, okay, this is good enough for a release. When I just chatted with Lou from GLM, they released a new version, like a 5, right? You're releasing 2.5, which is not like 3. What makes it into a, let me ask it this way. What in your mind makes a major release versus like a .5 or .3 update? Because you jump from 2.1, from 2 to 2.1 to 2.5, not quite yet at 3. What would it take for a model to be 3 in your eyes?
Okay, so internally, we usually update the first number of the version number just when the pre-trained base model is changed. For example, for our M3 model that will be released in the future, it will be a different base model. And then for 2.2, 2.1, and 2.5, they are all sharing the M2 model. And what makes a major release is very, very interesting, actually. It's that when we see a very large increase in performance of the model, and we think that developers are going to benefit from it. And a funny story about this release is that as we're talking right now, the model is actually still training, and then the accuracy is still scaling. But we did decide to cut it now and then release a version so that people can use it, because a lot of people have been asking us when to release the model. So as long as we see a major improvement in a lot of areas, we see that the developers will be able to benefit from it, and then we release it.
That's great. Olive, I want to add Nistan here. He had the question about smaller models, and then we're going to let you go to continue training the model, but appreciate your time with us. But Nistan, go ahead.
Yeah, so we see, as you guys started with M1, which was about like 450 billion parameters, and now switched to a size that a lot of people find much more practical. I just wanted to know, because the open source community gets very excited about even tinier models. Are there any plans to like make distillations of this, or release some other smaller ones now that you guys have one very good one, which is widely used by people?
Okay, very good question. I'm not sure. That's the answer. I'm not very sure. What I know for now is that I'm not sure if I can comment this, but what I know now is that we will have experimental models internally for our experiments, and that's going to be smaller, but I'm not confident if we're going to release it or not. That's all the future stuff, right?
Okay.
But yeah.
Olive, you mentioned definitely RL has like a lot to do with how great the performance model compared to its size. Would love to give you the stage to talk more about kind of your RL efforts, the stuff that you're releasing, what you're seeing, because I think that this is, I know you mentioned you're going to release it in the blog, but any tidbits, any kind of insight, because RL is definitely improving just incredibly fast, like smaller models with like less and less training data. Would love to hear your kind of current thoughts about the paradigm of reinforcement learning generally, and the kind of the advancements that you guys had while training this model in learnings.
Right. So for our RL, the open source community might have seen the SysPol algorithm that we released last year while we were releasing M1. At that time, we solved the problem we solved is the stable training algorithm, right? So as the model trains, as the reinforcement learning model trains, it might collapse. And then what we resolved was that from the algorithm side, we want the model training to be stable in LLM training, right? That's what we solved last year. And then as long as we did some improvements on that side, what we realized was that what's important in RL is to train fast. So that's what we worked on this year, to make the RL framework to train very, very fast. And it has a lot of parts in it. You can see that in the later blog, the details, but we did a lot of things to let it speed up a lot so that we can train a lot of steps and then it iterates fast and stable with the algorithm.
So basically, like scaling up the rollouts with RL is something that you're saying is very important. How important is the speed of inference to kind of like training with RL? Is that a factor as well? Like when you want to do just like a lot, is a speed of inference very important to this process?
It is definitely very important. And then I think in the agent era, right? Inference is not the only part of the rollout, and people might, and there's environment interacting and tool calling speed and like that. So one great thing about our framework is that it balances all very, very well. So that there's inference speed, there's tool calling and stuff like that. We can balance it so that it trains fast, and then also it trains very fast.
Nissan had another question. Sorry, Nissan, I'm bringing you back. What's up?
Yeah, I recently saw a rescreening of the movie Her, and I noticed on your website that besides like the excellent open source work, you guys also have a bunch of releases for music, and there's also an M2 Her fine tune for character stuff. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about that? Like how, like what else like the company has been working on?
Okay, so as compared to many other teams, right, we're a very diverse team that works on a lot of different models. For example, we even open source, we even release, Anyways, so different people have different dreams about AGI, and that's how we treat this. Our perspective is that if you want the model to do something, right, and the current model can't do it, we try to train it. And that's why we have like so many diverse modalities and so many diverse scenarios.
What is missing from this lineup, I guess? What else? Like we saw world models being trained on different places. We saw full characters. We saw like obviously video. What is missing in your mind from the lineup of the offerings that you guys have?
I'm not confident though, because I don't know about everything in the wild. But we do have a lot of cool ideas that we actually are training with the model and kind of integrating it with products or like how people use it. So please wait for later iterations and updates.
Yeah, not to put you on the spot. I know there's a bunch of stuff that's going on. You cannot talk about the releases. When you can talk about this, please come back to the show. We would love to hear from you. Olive, there is one question, final question, and then we'll let you go, I promise. But like final question is I was always wondering, we are here on the show. We have a bunch of commenters. Some of them are like deeply into RL and training and understand the concept we talk about. Many folks come to the show to just like understand what the hell it is we're talking about just in the world of AI, because it changes so fast. They just want to learn and they want kind of the lower version. Many are struggling with becoming AI native. What does it mean to become AI native? How much AI you use in your daily work? I gotta wonder and ask you with as much like conference that you can talk about how AI native is a lab like yours. Like you guys are releasing models, you have multiple music and whatever, like a bunch of models that you're working on. In your day-to-day, not you specifically, your day-to-day, the team's day-to-day, how AI native are you? Are you using MiniMax 2.1 to build the MiniMax 2.5? Like, tell me about kind of the what's going on behind the scenes from an AI lab being an AI native lab.
Okay, definitely. So one of our teams, right? So one of our colleague, his daily job is to collaborate with multiple agents and then collect the feedbacks of the multiple agents and the work, and then judge their work, treating them as interns, and check their delivered work, put new things into the skill so that they are better, and then using all the agents' powers to do more agent stuff. Very AI native. That's my answer. But
very AI native. Yeah.
I still think that the current model is not perfect in everything. So I'm not talking about only M2.5, right? I'm talking about like all models in the wild. There are certain areas that they are still not good at, and for those teams, they're still not that AI native. But then I'm pretty sure that it will change in the future.
So tell me about maybe one such thing. What do you think the current let's say the current crop of models, the current class of models is not good at yet? What do we need to improve?
One very easy example, our RL framework that I just talked about, is not like the AI native percentage is not that high, and we can see in multiple like system cards and stuff like that, people test the current model's performance in doing reinforcement learning work or development, and they're still not that good. Yeah, that would be one very simple example.
Nice. So the model is still not good at replacing the creators of the model yet, but we're getting there. This is what I'm hearing from you.
Yes.
Olive, so first of all, folks, if you want to hear Olive, you had a talk at AI Engineer. So folks, if you want to hear that, this is on the AI Engineer channel. Shout out to this. The other thing that I want to mention, Swix, who invited you to AI Engineer, they just launched a benchmark of their own, a leaderboard with Windsurf. I don't know if they quite used MiniMax 2.5 yet. You guys just released it, but basically they're focusing on fast but good enough crop of models. And fast but good enough is great because this is kind of the stuff that you're talking about, right? Like it's not necessarily frontier level 4.6, etc. It's still very, very impressive how close you come to like the last iteration. Like to a week ago, Opuses, you guys come like very, very very close. It's very, very impressive in the open source. But also this model is smaller than the Kimi 1 trillion parameter like crop of models, and this makes it fast. And for many people, the speed is like what's very important. So that benchmark is probably going to be owned by you guys at some point. So looking forward to seeing MiniMax 2.5 over there. Olive, anything else that I forgot to ask you? You want to mention? Shout out people on the team. Feel free. This is your time, and then we're going to continue with the show. But like, feel free to shout out anyone or tell us anything that I forgot to ask you.
Okay, shout out to the team of MiniMax.
Yeah.
And shout out to you all. Okay.
Awesome. Olive, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your time, as well as if you train new models, please come back. We would love to hear from you what breakthroughs you do in RL as well. Cheers.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. How about that? Back to back. What's up, LDJ? Back to back interviews with open source foundational training folks from inside the team on Thursday. I think it's as if we had both OpenAI and Anthropic folks on the show like last week, but no, like we're focusing on open source. Incredible chat with Olive. What do you guys think?
We could have probably gotten Crystal from the Kimi K2 team as well. Yeah. And then that would have been the whole trinity.
The whole trinity of the Chinese open source right now.
Of the Chinese open source model, yeah.
Except DeepSeek, which DeepSeek does not interview, no matter how much we tried.
And Qwen. But we've had Qwen quite a lot.
Yeah. Shout out to Qwen. We're gonna mention Qwen in a bit on the show. Folks, MiniMax 2.5, the compared to the size, I think the evals are absolutely bonkers. Wolfram, you wanna talk a little bit about like what they're posting there? Because I think it's like we absolutely need to talk about this.
Yeah, we got SOTA with GLM5, open source SOTA, and now it's basically already a new model. Like last week when Opus 4.6 came out, and an hour later we had GPT 5.3 codecs. Similar stuff is happening here. It's happening so fast. You get a new model, you think, wow, you are still running the evalts. I mean, it takes time, and then the next model comes out. So it's amazing, and surprise is also very interesting. While MiniMax is even cheaper than GLM5, but even exceeded in Swebench, for instance. So this is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, it's the best timing for these kinds of models. Now that OpenClaw has happened, and we not only coders are interested in these models anymore, but the agentic stuff, basically everyone can now make use of it. And so this is the best timing. And the cost of intelligence has fallen once more. You get an intelligence level at a price level that has, it's the acceleration. You can feel it here.
I don't see the size in my recap here, but it's 200 something, right? 235.
Yeah, 235B. I think 10B active.
10 billion parameter active, and it gets 80.2% on Swebench verified. Just absolute bonkers. Ryan, I know you don't use open source models and you use like the frontier ones. Question is, after kind of the conversation that we're having right now, what are your thoughts about this? Because this model approaches like a Mac Studio level, but you can probably run this on like one or two. Like the previous model, no, you need like 3 Mac Studios connected. But this one, with some quantization, you can actually run on actual like home hardware completely on its own, with the cost of just the investment in the beginning and electricity.
Right. And I think that's interesting. And that's where probably it'll matter for OpenClaw, where people really do want to run unlimited inference locally, and own the agent. I do think we're in a new world where people are thinking about owning versus renting.
Mm-hmm.
And all of us are more attracted to owning, clearly. But if you're still using a SOTA model from OpenAI or Anthropic, you're not really owning anything, are you? So I'm kind of waiting. It's like, but meanwhile, I'm like a lot of people, I'm just too damn busy to the model that I use needs to work now. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to pay for the extra inference. Like, it's fine.
For sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I lost connection, I think.
Nistan, we can hear you, but cannot see you. Go ahead. All right, Nistan's lost connection. LDJ, welcome to the show. You've listened to the interview and you've seen this model release. Would love to hear your takes on how fast the open source is catching up behind Frontier. Because like we're literally a step behind. If 4.6 wasn't released last week, these models would beat some of the 4.5 results like significantly.
Yeah, it's definitely going really fast right now. I think they're doing amazing things, and not to put it down at all, but I do recall, at least for ZAI, there's some interviews before where they did talk about how very quickly after training runs finished, they put models out, which I think is a pretty good thing usually for open source. But I think that might explain at least part of the closeness in the abilities compared to the frontier models, as of course, as we know, a lot of times the Western labs are having a lot longer time before they actually release the models after training, because safety training, and they do a lot of that more so. So that being said, when it comes to the customer perspective or the people actually using the models like us, I mean, what really matters is at a given time, what is actually publicly available, what can we use, right? And right now it's, at least for like a cost per intelligence basis, it's definitely competitive for a lot of use cases right now. And we already saw Qwen-image2 2.5 was topping the leaderboards for our most used OpenClaw model. If you go to OpenRouter and look at the stats for that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really interesting how that dynamic continues and what things end up using what models. Yeah.
Yep. I want to highlight this graph that they added specifically for like the times of the releases. And this is so for people just listening, this is a Swebench verified score graph between Anthropic's Sonnet and Opus, OpenAI, MiniMax, and Gemini at Google. MiniMax 2.5 beats Gemini 3 Pro on this fairly hard agentic coding task. Gemini 3 Pro, we just celebrated Gemini 3 Pro not that much a while ago. There may be breaking news about that type of model. We'll see. But you guys see an open weights model beating the current state-of-the-art biggest model from Google. Obviously, benchmarks is not like everything. They don't tell you the full picture, and there's like benchmarking, but like the speed of improvement with these folks is just like absolutely incredible. LJ, I think this speaks to the fact that you're saying like the foundational model, the Western foundation model, they don't release model as fast. They sit on releases for a while, but it does look like there is an advantage to the open source community folks to just shipping the models.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Nistan, you wanna talk about some criticisms of models and drawbacks?
Yeah. I want to say, so what I've heard from the community and stuff. By the way, I'm on week 3 of not using Cloud Code or any agent.
Nice.
So, but what
are you feeling withdrawal? Are you feeling better? You look better.
Yeah,
are
you crying in the corner, or what are you doing?
No, it looks healthier.
No,
the
I still use
them.
the website, but what I find from people is that they do accuse MiniMax of a bit of benchmaxing, and so what that means is, because SW bench is just mostly Python, I think it's like 60% Python, you can train it to be very agentic at very agentic in general, and then you can create a lot more similar problems or problems around like the same types that the benchmark likes to check for, and it can do pretty well. It's not cheating, because it is a very hard agentic task still, and it is very good at those types of questions. Normally when you train, you try to generate a lot of variety around those subjects, and you can get pretty good results from that. But what I want to say is, at the end of the day, when I test these, the way that I'm testing them now, I just give them a very hard problem. Like, I have a long distributed script for data stuff, and there's usually like pretty hard small issues in it that you need a lot of nuance to understand. And I do still find Opus 4.6 to be the smartest when it comes to that. Like, when there are really difficult problems where you need to understand the OS and the scheduling and like, why is this slow and what's going on, it is still you still do want to use the best model for that. Now, on the other hand, what people need to also realize is that we're starting to use multiple agents simultaneously. So as long as you do have something, so now these are the praises for this model specifically, well, for the 2.1 version, that people found it very good at being able to call other agents as well and handling the work. So it is still smart enough to handle that type of work and offload that to other agents when you need to. And then you can also own your data this way, and you can choose what to share with the big labs and what not to. And I think that's the very important step which we're moving towards slowly. And because it's going to be multi-model, multi-agentic stuff. That's what people are going to do next. And this one is quite excellent for that, for the size and the speed, because you can actually realistically even run it on your own. You can buy something for $8,000, like a M3 Ultra, and I think it does like very good speeds, like over 80 tokens per second when people have tested it. So this is one that can actually do agentic work with a small, low power, but expensive device.
Yeah.
So
still expensive, but definitely owning your own stack, or for companies like us that can host this, we can now offer, not quite Opus 4.6, but definitely Opus 4 and beating like level of intelligence at very, very cheap inference speeds as well, cheap inference prices and fast inference speed, which I think is like very important to many folks as well. Folks, we've talked about open source a lot today. This week is definitely the open source kind of like highlight of the week in LLMs. I do want to switch topics a little bit, but before this, because we're more than an hour into the show. We're going to do this week's buzz super quick, and then we're going to move on and talk about big companies and exciting things and star bases on the moon and whatever. Be right back after this week's buzz. All right, folks, for this week's buzz, a corner where I talk about everything that happens in the world of weights and biases, I want to tell you that the new model GLM5 that just launched from ZAI, the 744 billion parameter model that you cannot run on your computer unless you have 7 H200s or whatever, is now live on the WNB Inference service. WNB Inference is a service powered by Weave, our the company that bought Weights and Biases a while ago, running on the essential cloud for AI, the best cloud around that serves companies as big as Microsoft and OpenAI, etc. So you can have some of that in as well. If you go to 1b.ai/inference, you can see the GLM is over here. I'm going to put this in the chat for you guys super quick. You can see the GLM5 is already there. We're working on adding Kimi K2.5, which is model. New release MiniMax 2.5 as well. With that said, if you want a little bit of inference, we just on our X account, our main X account, x.com/1b, which is very easy to remember, by the way, we post about this model. If you go there and you reply with a reply charging pony, we'll give you a little bit of credits. Maybe not a little bit, maybe a lot of it. These models are fairly cheap, so you're going to get a lot for your inference credits. To try out these models, try out our inference service, you can plug this into Cloud Code, you can plug this into OpenClaw, you can plug this pretty much everywhere. And so if you're running multiple agentic scenarios and they're running overnight and you don't want to spend that much money on different foundational labs, definitely check out our inference service at 1b.ai/inference. This has been this week's buzz, and now I want to talk to you guys about some big company drama, specifically XAI, because it's already Thursday, February 12th, and Grok 4.2 or 420 or whatever is nowhere to be found. We've been waiting for that model for a bit, apparently super coding agentic. And then suddenly, like flies, multiple folks, including co-founders of XAI, decided to post on X and saying, hey, it's been a great time. Thank you, Elon, blah, 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 but I'm no longer there. And then, I don't know if you guys had a chance to see this. XAI released a all hands with Elon and a bunch of like heads of the new company that they've restructured into multiple buckets there. And this restructuring happened after the crazy scale up that they had, obviously, and the acquisition by SpaceX. So it's kind of like Elon Musk goes like this with Elon Musk and approves the acquisition, kind of like, yeah. So now XAI is part of SpaceX. And a bunch of folks are no longer there. But the details that they've shared in that all hands are just fucking mind-blowing. They have the biggest training cluster in the world with Memphis, 300,000 GPUs. It's just like insane numbers. They're talking about like putting GPUs in space. What are you guys hearing? What are your thoughts on this? Like, let's chat about this. This is like one of the benefits of Thursday is that if we had dinner, all of us, and we'd definitely talk about this. This is what folks tune in for. So what the fuck is happening with XAI is basically my question to the panel.
Yeah, so it was confirmed that a lot of management restructuring and management changes ended up happening with the SpaceX acquisition of XAI. It seems like that might have played a big role there in a lot of the decisions of some of the co-founders and team to leave. But also, when it comes to the more technical aspect and a roadmap aspect of what they announced in the all hands and everything, what really stuck out to me and the most interesting thing, I don't know if you guys saw, but they were talking about having coding models and having this research direction of just having the models directly develop the binary and generate binary for the computers themselves and the chips, as opposed to having all these layers of abstraction, whether that's in Python or C or the kernel level. And yeah, I think like very long term at least. I don't know how realistic that will be very short term, but that does seem kind of like a natural endpoint when we look at really long time scales.
Yep. Ryan, any comments on XAI and the team structures and whether or not you're using any of the models?
I still don't use Grok for any production stuff. But interestingly enough, so X did just release pay-per-use on their API.
Yes.
And I know, and it's interesting because I'm seeing a lot of people, including myself, who are happy to do pay-per-use now on the X API because there's a lot of interesting things to do. But now you have like X, SpaceX, XAI, it's all the same thing. And then Elon, goes on the Cheeky Pint and talks about how he's, launching data centers in space. And all of it makes sense. You're like, I get it. Like, yeah, go to where it's always sunny, go to where you don't need any electricity infrastructure to power the GPUs, go where it's really cold. So you don't have to, worry about heat as much. These things all make sense. But then, none of us, I don't know anyone who's using Grok for prod. It's just, okay, you are. I know one guy. So
here's my and some folks in comments wanted like real life advice on what models to use. I use Grok for research, specifically X research. So you mentioned the X API. X API is now pay per whatever. It's really, really expensive still to do like a lot of research. If you go through Grok, and I mentioned this on the show multiple times, Grok itself has API access to X. And if you use XAI's API, it's confusing, I know, but X and XAI are two different companies still. X API and XAI API are different things. XAI API is like OpenAI API, LLM completions, right? With tool use. That tool use has access to X better than you, faster than you, significantly more, more performant than you. That can perform researches on X like nobody's business. Most of the show that I bring to you guys every week, the detailed notes that I send you guys behind the scenes, all of that is researched on X with Grok API via API. Like I've been using this for a while. It's an incredible unlock to know everything that's going on. It can find the smallest comments from the researchers from different labs, like very, very, very cheap. Not something you'd be able to do with the X API. So I do use it. I don't use it for intelligence necessarily, but it is intelligent research, right? So like it does happen in those cases. Do not use it for code. And I think the reason why they didn't launch Grok 420 is because it's nowhere near the state of the art like foundational models. They promised to bring it, but they didn't. They restructured the company now to 4 buckets. One of them is LLM and voice. Another one is coding. Like they have like a specific like part of the company now in coding. And then they have another one called macro hard, which is the data centers, which is really funny. And then I think the space stuff is, just like propping up before the SpaceX IPO. I don't know, but like that's how it seems to me.
And I'll say, did anybody notice that SpaceX changed their mission? So now it's not Mars, it's the moon.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool. It's like, okay, we'll see faster iteration.
Hopefully.
So it's a fun time to be live. I think the thing that I want to talk about, which is the meta around all of this, is related to Matt Schumer's post.
Oh yeah.
Like around, what it feels like the acceleration, but yet it's just a very strange time. Like,
can we shout out Matt Schumer super quick? Can you tell people what post? Because there is, believe it or not, people who haven't seen this.
So look at this. So I started seeing this in the feed. I'm like, oh yeah, Matt, cool. We all know him. I think the AI world is still pretty small on X, and you kind of know everybody. Yes. And I saw it, I'm like, holy shit! Like it got a bunch of views. And then the next time I look at it, it was like at 20 million, and now it's at 74 million, which is probably the largest article of all time.
Probably.
But then as soon as this happened, I think this all happened. We got our normie friends texting us about this article, and so I had this conversation with an attorney friend of mine. Listen to this, and he might be listening. So I'm not going to say your name because you're a buddy, and he's super smart. But he does represent a person that's outside of our sphere. He's like, hey, I went into ChatGPT and I told it to make me an app, and it didn't work. And it was interesting to hear like the disconnect between, okay, well, the reality is, yeah, you should have used Codex. Like you can't tell ChatGPT to make you an app. I mean, you can, but so there's this weird disconnect we're all feeling. And on top of that, you kind of have to pick which horse you're going to ride. Like, I can't stay always with one foot in the camp of Anthropic, one in Gemini, put another hand over here on OpenAI. Like, at some point, you got to pick your stack.
Yep.
And then orchestrate that stack. And literally, as of today, like, I might be moving to Claude Code, like, because it's got agent team, native infrastructure now. But then it's like, all right, I got to build all that orchestration, and it's kind of exhausting.
It is exhausting. So I want to talk about this, and I think that the Matt Schumer, shout out to Matt, by the way, incredible ability to communicate with what everybody who listens to Thursday probably already knows. The speed with which we're moving towards something incredible is scary, and for many people, the speed itself is scary. I want to read an outline, a small piece of the article. It's very long. In 2022, AI couldn't do basic arithmetic reliably. He would confidently tell you that 7 times 8 is 54. By 2023, it could pass the bar exam. By 2024, it could write working software, explain graduate level science. By 2025, some of the best engineers in the world said they had handed over most of their coding work to AI. And February 5th, 2026, new models arrived that made everything before them feel like a different era. February 5th was a week ago. This is the show that we had here, and we talked to you about Opus 4.6 and the GPT 5.3 codex, and these both these releases absolutely shattered how we think about software. And we've been AI native for a while, and we've been telling you to be AI native for a while, right? And so paired together with AI assistants like OpenClaw and different agentic things, people that have no business in writing or creating software because it wasn't possible for them right now can absolutely do so. Ryan's point is absolutely correct. Many people go to ChatGPT because this is what they know. They type a prompt and nothing happens to them. Like, oh, okay. But then we're seeing plumbers operating their business with OpenClaw now, and we're seeing agentic software making that has 0 bugs in one shot after 2 minutes, and you get a full incredible thing. I'm not saying everything is automated. Plus, the guy who left XAI, Jimmy Ba, one of the co-founders, I think you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's co-author of Adam, the something like this. Jimmy is highest age-cited person there at XAI. He said recursive self-improving is coming this year. Recursive self-improving is when the models use the models to build the models. We told you about this in Codex 5.3. We told you about this in Cloud Code, where everybody in Anthropic probably have a way faster Opus and way cheaper free Opus because they work there, but also probably a significantly longer context one. They all use this software to build the software, and so we're looking at this loop that's coming. For many normies, for many people who don't follow as us, for folks who are not listening to the show, you can send them our show as well. You can send them Matt's article. They have no idea what's coming. And because they have no idea what's coming, it's easy for them to brush off okay, fine, AI still hallucinates, blah, 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 blah. Coding is the way to generalize everything. This is what we've been feeling since forever, but definitely since December and since the last February models, this clicked for many of us. Coding is the way towards generality for many of these agents. If it can code, it can do stuff. It can run your browser with code, etc. So definitely some thoughts there in Matt's article. Ryan, go ahead.
So I put a link in the show notes. If you could pull it up really quick. I think this article is important, and everybody watching this or listening to this should read this. So this was a post called "Harness Engineering: Leveraging Codex in an Agent-First World," and it was written by Ryan Lapolo. And this is a case study about how people are actually using an agentic engineering solution from end to end in the real world, right? And the TLDR is that it's really hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So some of this is still hype. I set up OpenClaw and I have a company that runs itself. No, you don't. That's not happening in the real world for real people.
Yeah.
But people are beginning to actually, from end to end, having 0 humans involved in the writing or reading or reviewing or shipping of code. It's starting to happen, and this article is a good summary of how that actually works and how hard it is to actually get it working. So, but this will become the playbook for every company who's writing code, and but in the next 12 months. So.
Yep. All right, time to switch gears. We talked to you about this. Definitely read Matt's article. I'm going to add this in the show notes. Send it to your normie friends who don't feel the acceleration is you, and then send them a link to Thursday. Because one of the things that I love the most that Matt talked about at the end is like, hey, what can we say by the time singularity comes? Is like knowing what the tools are, using them, it gives you a competitive advantage. This is why we're here on the show every week. Folks, coming up on 3 years, March 14th, 2023 is when we started Thursday, and we're coming up on 3 years in 2 shows or something. That's going to be crazy. And the amount of acceleration we saw since then is just fucking mind-blowing to me. Let's talk about breaking news that we have. I think there's some breaking news. Yam, you put up breaking news? All right, you do it. After the transition. Let's go. AI breaking news coming at you. Only on Thursday. All right, Peleg, let's go. What do we have?
All right, so Google drops Gemini 3 deep thinking, significant upgrade to deep thinking. Basically, state of the art on Arc AGI 2, to the best of my knowledge, and 48.4% on humanity's last exam. Real this time, real for last exam for real. I'm joking. 48.4% without any tool.
Oh wow. With no tools. It's just like on maximum thinking. This is crazy.
Look, I want to say there are couple of different classes of models, the way I see it. Gemini 3 Deep Think, as well as GPT 5.2, I think, Pro is the one that we get access to. These are on a class of their own. They're pretty niche. They take a lot of time when they do their stuff. Also Grok Super Heavy, I think it's called. Grok Heavy.
Yeah, Grok Heavy.
Yeah, those that take quite a little while when you ask them stuff. They are for extremely hard tasks that are not iterative. You can say like send and forget, and you get like, look, you can steer Pro while it works, but generally this is a very special type of models. I use them all the time, both Deep Think and Pro, and they are extremely useful. And it's amazing to see the frontier being pushed again. And every week we get several state-of-the-art models on something at this point, like multiple. Like every week we got multiple models, and some of them open source, some of them closed source, and like everything is just accelerating to.
Yeah, I want to pause you for 1 sec, because ArcAGI 84% is insane. ArcAGI 2, not 1. ArcAGI 2, the highest score before this is 68 from Opus 4.6, which you know is an incredible model. 5.3 GPT is still not tested on this, but 5.2 is 52. Let me just put this up on the screen, folks. The jump in ArcAGI, what the fuck just happened? What?
Can I show you something? Can I show you?
Yeah.
Let me just show you this.
So now this is the new. I'm getting tired. Is this the new Soda now? Basically, yeah.
It is.
I think we're all tired.
Yes.
Oh, we are tired. We are tired.
So just recently, it was just in these. I don't know when was it. I don't know if it was 3 days ago or 3 weeks ago that Opus 4.6 dropped. My whole sense of time is messed up.
1 week.
But okay,
it was
1 week ago.
We talked about this on last week's show. It was 1 week ago.
So 1 week ago, Opus 4.6 dropped, and that was already a significant jump in the SOTA of state of the art for ArcAGI 2. And hopefully they listed on this graph.
Yes, it is. The red ones right in the middle, yeah.
But now Gemini 3 Deep Think is like another significant jump even beyond that, just a week later. yeah, this is huge and exciting progress, and maybe ArcAGI3 is going to be saturated by the time it comes out.
And we need to have humanity's for real last exam copy of Max Untitled humanity last exam
We
copy
just
of
gotta
copy.
stop letting Alex Wang just name things.
Speaking of Alex Wang, at some point, the billions of dollars that Zuck is spending on that lab needs to do something. I think they're preparing, I think it's called avocado or something.
Yes.
But yeah, we're waiting for this. While we're waiting, in the middle of breaking news, we have breaking news. AI breaking news coming at you only on Thursday I. All right, folks. This one is for real. Ryan, you go. This is you, buddy.
Y'all, I just happen to be browsing X as we're doing the show, and what do you know? We've got GPT-5.3 Codex Spark. It came out 2 minutes ago. So I'll read a little bit from the release. Yeah, my knee glasses like you. It says, today we're releasing a research preview of GPT 5.3 Codex Spark, a smaller version of GPT 5.3 Codex, and our first model designed for real-time coding. Codex Spark marks the first milestone in our partnership with Cerebras. So get ready for
shit.
Here we go.
Let's go. We talked to you about this.
Wow.
Cerebras in the house. Oh my God. Let's go.
It says research preview to ChatGPT Pro users. So have fun, y'all. Let us know what you think.
All right. Let's see if we can test this out. We need to update Codex, right?
I have to renew my subscription now.
Let's try.
Just pay the money.
Let's see. All right. So this is the smaller version. It's probably not the same one, right? But it should be stupid fast. This is the whole thing. Let's go Codex.
Absolutely going to try this now live. Let's see.
Holy cow. The video.
I don't think I have it. Yeah, I don't have it yet.
Crazy.
We need a benchmark where the model just goes online and makes money. Like how fast can it do it?
Yeah, just go online and make me money. So I will say like a shout out to Swix and the Cognition folks from the Windsurf. They have a leaderboard. Cognition. Let me find this super quick. Specifically about fast but good enough models. And I think that this is now, a fast and very capable model, but the leaderboard talks about the frontier models being, used everywhere in Windsurf, and people preferring the faster models here. As the top fast models in their API. I'm not showing you the right thing. Give me a second, please. The top models in their fast thing is not the main models. It's Wii 1.5, Haiku 4.5, and Gemini 3 Flash Low. They have like specifically pointing out the finger at folks that like, hey, developers love good intelligence, but they also love seeing results fast when they work side by side with the model. When you're sending off an army of agents to do work for you overnight, you don't really care. They'll probably use the best intelligence, but the fast model is absolutely something that they need. And so now OpenAI is launching this. I thought they're going to launch an iOS app for Codex, honestly. I saw some references, like that's what's going to happen. But no, we're getting the Cerebras thing, and apparently this one is supposed to be live for pro users in the Codex app, CLI and IDE extension. Folks, do you already have this or
I'm
not
trying.
yet?
I think so.
Oh, I have an update on the Codex app. So I'm hitting the update button. I want to see. Cerebras is a LPU company. We talked about Cerebras multiple times. They have connected with OpenAI to deliver these intelligences at like incredible speed. Yeah, I don't have it yet. I only have 5.3 Codex.
Yeah, I've just got 5.3 Codex. Come on,
guys! Don't tease us like this. We need to test this live on the show.
They should know. Like, come on, we're all on Thursday. Give us the stuff first.
Yes, I will reach out to the folks. If folks who have, somebody says it's perfect for OpenClaw mode, and I agree. I think OpenClaw like does a lot of stuff while running code. So I want it. but we don't have it. So we're going to continue with the show. Meanwhile, we're going to try behind the scenes to see if we're going to get the update, and then we're definitely going to try, because the insane speed of Cerebro is definitely something. Meanwhile, speaking of insane speed, and folks asked us about our opinions. Do you guys remember Voxtrol, where we talked about Mistral's transcription service? I switched OpenClaw to Voxtrol, and the responses are you guys want to see? I can show this off. I think this is the demo that I can show. Hopefully, my little bot will not. Hopefully, my little bot will not expose some personal details.
I think they also run on Cerebras, by the way, because Mistral was running their model, their big model on Cerebras.
Let's try. Hey bot, you're live on Thursday, and folks are looking at how fast you can transcribe things. So I'm going to talk really fast. My name is Alex Volkov. I'm an AI evangelist with Weights and Biases. With me, Wolfram Raven, with Ryan Carson, Jan Pelig, LDJ, and Niston, and we're live on Thursday. With all that said, I want you to transcribe everything that I say and put it in the chat. Now my bot reacts a little bit, so like we're going to upload. Why is it taking so long to upload? As always, the demos. Yeah. Telegram
Just
is
a little shy.
So my bot just saw it. Okay, we're gonna, and it's already started in typing. So the transcription, I think, went through, and now it's just like Opus 4.6 doing its work. Do you guys see this? It's already responded. It transcribed and responded. This was like insane. You said you're live on Thursday with Ryan Carson, John Pelling, sorry, Jan, LDJ, Nistan.
Thank you.
You have to describe everything you say. Yes. When you talk to your bots, Voxtrol is like absolutely amazing. So shout out, we told you about Voxtrol, we tested it out, but now it's like actually built in. I did not do anything to build it. So folks who are listening, who are not technical, who say, hey, we're not, this is not a world anymore. The world is, if you want it, you say, and it happens. So if you have OpenClaw, just, use it. If you don't have OpenClaw, talk to Claude, help it install you an OpenClaw in a secure way. Both me and Wolfram, we installed OpenClaw's like additions on exe.dev. That's a thing that like helps you on its own. So you just like build things in there. All right, I think it's time to continue with the show. Getting a little bit too excited about the possibilities. What else do we have? So we just mentioned the deep. I'm still hung up on this on both of the releases. The first part of the show, we had two incredible open source models. Now we're having spike in intelligence with 84 in AGI. Yam, your glasses are absolutely correct right now. And then OpenAI releases a version of Python 3 codex that's stupid fast. And all I can think about is stop talking, Alex. Go try to find whether or not you have this model. I don't have it yet. What's going on? Yes.
Me too. Still not.
Guys, isn't it crazy? I don't think people outside our bubble realize just how nuts it is that we get like much higher intelligence and then we get much higher speed. And like, we want more. We can use more. Like, we can just use a lot more.
Bro, I can definitely use more.
Cheaper.
I can definitely use more.
Yeah.
Like,
I think maybe
want to run it all the time.
Demand for this. Even if you do like what I have to do for work for open source models, like I need more GPUs. I have to use like every single skill and stuff from hacking and from Linux and from networking just to like get the hardware and then run it. And there's just not enough. Like you could use like 2 orders of magnitude more.
Let's talk about this for a little bit, just super quick, because I got very viral with one post of mine that I didn't expect to go viral. That talks about like folks not being able to sleep. And I also, there's an article from Steve Yege from Gastown, which we haven't covered Gastown yet, but there's a whole crop of insanity happening over there at Steve Yege's Gastown. A whole crop of AI like psychosis. We did talk to you about the AI psychosis, but now what happens is many folks, including myself, I can report from my own personal thing, and I meditate every day, folks, and still this happens to me. It's hard to go to sleep. It's hard to go to sleep because I don't know if my agents are getting used to the maximum potential. It's hard to go to sleep, or I don't know if like the army of things that I have going on, and I'm not like crazy like Jan and Ryan, whatever. I don't have like swarms of things. I usually have like 1 or 2 agents running, doing things overnight in a loop. I have a task board, whatever, like basic OpenClaw user, basic. I have an employee, AI employees basically doing work overnight. And for me, it's hard for me to go to sleep because I'm like, if I don't tell this thing exactly what I need and how it's going to look in the morning, it's not going to work. It's going to like fail on waiting on me or like whatever if I don't define the things correct. Is this your experience as well? Is it hard to fall asleep? Is this like what's going on? Let's be frank here.
Agent psychosis is growing hard on me.
Yeah,
really growing on me. The agent psychosis, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think everyone in the field is working as hard as they possibly can over the past couple of weeks.
Isn't the whole point of this to work less? Tell me, like, what the fuck are we doing? Isn't the whole point of this so that I can like chill on my couch, smoke hookah? By the way, I stopped smoking hookah, no hookah anymore. But like, just do something else while the agents work. Isn't this the whole point? Like, what are we doing? Why are we working harder?
I think the point of it is to enable the choice and unlocking those new possibilities of, hey, now you could get the same amount of work done while working less if you wanted to. But there's also this other option of you can still continue working the same amount of hours per day, but now get way more insanely more amount of things done in the day. And it's kind of just like a new branching of possibilities that people could choose to take on now.
I think that everyone in the field, because it's not consolidated and there's no one choice and everyone is still exploring, I think at this point everyone is optimizing their own framework, and everyone is trying to get their own framework off the ground as hard as possible to get as much automation. It's not necessarily that you use all of it, you use it for whatever you want, but a lot of the effort is still in the looping and in making the thing better, so you can use other things. So you can use it for other things, and I think this is what most people are doing at the moment because everyone sees the potential.
Exactly.
Ryan, I want to hear from you as well. Tell me.
Yeah, man. So yeah,
how's your sleep?
Not good. I honestly, seriously, not good. Like I typically wake up at 2 a.m. now, and I it's not good. So we're all dealing with it. I think what Yam said is very true. The primitives don't exist yet to manage teams of agents. We have kludgy auth. We have environment sort of rot. We have orchestration, problems. Like it's like we have a tool, but there's no toolbox. So I think that's why everyone's stressed out, because you could run agents 24/7, 365, but it's still kind of hard. That's why I built Ant Farm. And the truth, and it's open source and free. It's not something I'm trying to make money on. But the truth is it doesn't solve it either. Like, there's still all these problems with orchestration. And this is what FOMO is. Like, this is why FOMO is one of the most powerful human emotions, like fear of missing out. Everyone is afraid, like, oh, someone else is running agents 24/7. And I'm not, therefore I'm missing out. Right. And so you can't sit on the couch and smoke a hookah. Like, and that's a very human thing. And well, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. This is why I was trying to point out, I think we should all try to calm ourselves down and realize, okay, no one's running agents really 24/7 and actually doing productive work. They may be running small teams of agents, to build, real apps, but we're just not there yet. So, but it doesn't help. I'm sure I'm going to wake up at 2 a.m. tomorrow.
It's all of the acceleration. We always talk about accelerate. But now, every moment an agent is not running, you think you are losing time, You are wasting time because it could be doing something for you. And personally, I also think about when I'm sleeping, what is my agent doing? And is it maybe doing something, especially if it's something like OpenClaw, where it has so many access surfaces and so many information? I'm also thinking, should I shut it down if I'm not giving it a task? To make sure that it's not doing anything it shouldn't be doing, or getting any input it shouldn't. Like if it's doing research, it gets me my morning brief, and it could get prompt injected when doing a web search, for instance. So that is one reason why you should use one of the best models and not try to save money by using a cheaper model for something like that. Yep. It's just web search, but it is an attack surface as well. So sometimes I think about, shouldn't I shut it down and turn it on when I see what it's doing?
All right, folks. I think we all feel this, and I think some of the listeners of the show feel this as well. I think that like prioritizing sleep is very, very important. To me, this whole endeavor is working still, but working less. This is the whole point. But we We shall see. I think I want to move on because there's a few things that we haven't covered yet, and I think the highlight for me this week was something entirely else that also brings it to just like what the fuck is happening in this world. And I think I just got access finally. Yes, I think I just got access finally. So we're gonna try this in real life, and while we're gonna show you, we're moving on towards
to help solve your sleeping problem.
No, I didn't get access to 5.3. I got access to something else. 5.3, the Turbo, Nitro, whatever they call it, Spark. I didn't get access to Spark. But folks, earlier this week, our whole feeds, I think we talked to you about this before, our whole feeds were full of new type of videos generated by AI. These videos are generated with ByteDance's Seedance2. Seedance2 is a new version of Seedance, 15-second high-quality multi-shot output. We had multi-shot before, but the thing that makes Seedance absolutely different is there's like multiple things. It can get 9 images as reference. It can get 3 video clips as reference. It can get 3 audio clips as reference, and then plus instructions. So you can direct this model with audio and video with director level control. And the sum of the videos that are posted, they feel like the jump from when we were before Sora, and then we saw Sora for the first time. We didn't get it for like 9 months, if you guys remember. Just absolute mind-bending level of realism in this app. Also, ByteDance absolutely scraped all of Hollywood, all of Netflix, all of YouTube, all of ByteDance. It's really like the amount of how to say policy violations in this thing is wild. So I'm going to show a clip that I did back when I needed to use the VPN. But folks, like Seedance just launched and it's available here on Byte Plus platform. This is a video that I generated. I need to reshare this because you guys need to hear this, because sound multi stereo sound, multi-channel stereo sound is also included in this model. We barely got to sound this year with like VO 3.1, and now this model probably like absolutely beats VO. Does full sound. This is only a 5-second clip, but you can go for 15. This is a very short clip. My first generation here that I asked Spider-Man doing backflips. This clip looks exactly like the video game Spider-Man with music and everything. But I want to show you the actual videos that they have here. And folks who are just listening on the show, this is the place where you should tune in, because this is I don't know how else to describe this. Yamu's taking off the glasses too early, I think, is how I would describe this. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at some of these videos, folks. Let's take a look together. Multi-shot, consistent videos with physics, just mind-blowing quality of physics. If you guys
like balance
and conversation, lip sync and talking and music, jumps, synchronized motion. There's just so much here that's new.
It's amazing.
That it's hard to describe what is so amazing about this. Let me scroll down. Try to scroll down. The things that they show here, like audio visual experiences and the multi-shot and the camera movements, it's just I don't think I have enough. Oh, this is with audio. This is a shot from outside of the window of a pizza shop, and dude is preparing pizza. There is just everything. The sound of him taking the spatula from below the pizza. The sound of him like patting on the pizza box.
This is really, really good, but I'm a bit disappointed that the pizza guy didn't cut the slices before he put it in the box.
Bro, some people want a full pizza. What do you mean? Yeah, I've seen some examples. So here's an example of a video reference, right? They take pictures of some video game characters, and they take a video reference of. I actually don't know if it's like actual people fighting or they also generated them as well with the green reference. It looks like reference, and they make a video game. They literally just make a video game. The video references, I think, the video reference part is absolutely wild. This also broke my mind. Look at this beautiful anime style.
Yeah, this is insane.
The thing about video models before this, even good ones like VO 3.1, is that the face changes from one frame to another. So multi-shot is like very easy to tell. Seedance apparently, and I saw this only today, has a internal test mode that we can get access to of 45 seconds. 45 seconds, one shot. And I want to find this for you guys because I think that is a red motion.
Can we play with this, Alex? Do we have
yes, yeah. So now
have access.
Yes.
All right.
So on Byte Plus, they just upload this Seedance2, and I think if I go and I think I have some. Yeah, it's slow. So we're not gonna get video generation. Oh no, we can't. They took it down. So if you're in China, you can play with this. I literally just had access before, and now I don't see it anymore. But it's one of those things where, like Wolfram said, like now the US knows how it feels when the folks in China like release a new model. So as you can see, like when I generated something with the oh, you can see it. Okay, so here's my screen. I think it's time for us. Here's my screen. So when I go to a generation, I already did with Seedance. You can see the Seedance here. It's right here, and the model is Seedance2, right? But then if you drop down, it's not here. They hit it, so you cannot use this. I think people were like abusing them. Maybe they have GPU limits, but we can do edit and doing backflips while singing Kumbaya. I don't know. Let's see if this works. Doubt that it will work, but we'll see. I wanted to show much more video. I think I want to end on the 45-second thing, but we should mention a few more things from the TLDR. Oh, folks are giving us updates. They took it down temporarily, but they aligned regional internal requirements before a broader rollout. Louis from Replicate. What's up, Lou? Louis, thank you. Folks, you definitely give Louis a follow. So they took it down temporarily, but Seedance is available. But it looks like, somebody says that Aurora Alpha on Open Router could be Codex Spark. The new Open Router model. Very, very interesting.
I did put a link, by the way, to a video that it was generated by Seedance 2.0. And also, if you just look up Seedance 2.0 on Twitter, a lot of the videos there, I would say, are better than the videos on the actual ByteDance page.
Yeah, I wanna get the 45-second one, and I'm trying to see if the guys with red motion or something like this. All right, give me just 1 second. If I can pull this up, then we're gonna move on. Meanwhile, a question to you guys: do you guys have the new model, the Spark one? Yet? Not yet. I really wanted to show this.
I know, I don't have it. I'm bummed.
Oh, I found a 56-second video. Apparently, actually, no, you posted this, Alex. You posted a 56-second video that's apparently generated by Seedance 2.0.
I did post it. So this is a good way for me to find it. Give me a second.
Are these all one shot?
I just sent it in the side chat, so you don't have to search.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
listen. So
there is a studio type of thing, which generates a few clips and puts them together, or is it just one?
So I think a few things are going on here. One, because
you're not sharing it right now.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Wolfram. The one thing is happening is because the model takes video as input, it's much easier to do consistency while stitching together 15-second generation. That's like number one. Two, the thing that I was looking for is a 45-second generation of one shot of model. Like it's an internal build that they have. Yeah, let's take a look at this one. This is absolutely crazy. Can you guys hear? No, you can't hear, right?
Nope, can't hear it, but we can see it.
At some point, we will fix the hearing and seeing, but hey, let's take a look. All right, this is 56. Look at the character consistency. Just absolutely mind-blowing.
We can sort of hear it, but not quite.
Not super high?
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
That's a whole movie.
That is a whole movie.
That's pretty amazing.
And this one specifically was, probably generated multiple frames. So you can see like the inconsistency, but it's still, I'm still at loss of words. Right, folks, I think it's time for us to end this plane. 2 hours in, we had, let me just like recap super quick. We had an insane week, and it looks like insaner still because Thursday was the moment for all the major labs to like drop their things. We had both Lou from ZAI and Olive from MiniMax here to talk about how the open source labs are doing it with RL and scaling. Both of them launched incredible models that you can get access to on WB Inference today. And then we were sitting here talking about XAI when breaking news dropped from Google that the new Deep Think version of their model, Deep Research version of their model is now state of the art on RKGI with an insane jump to 86% or some crazy stuff like this. And humanity's last exam with no tools is absolutely beating everything else. Meanwhile, OpenAI decided to not be left behind and released GPT 5.3 Codex Spark. It's taking a long time to even say the names of these models, but the Spark model is supposedly a different version of 5.3 that runs on Cerebras with super, super fast inference. And we're trying to scramble to actually like vibe test this model for you and see, but like we know for a fact that like speed is very, very important. And then we ended the show with Seedance. These weeks, they're not getting smaller. They're not getting acceleration is absolutely here. So with this being said, everybody of you who tuned into Thursday, we just crossed 2,000 folks. Welcome to the world of acceleration. If you're new, if you're not new here, you've been with us for a while. You know that it's accelerating, but we're here to test it out, to talk about this, to give you tips on how to use this in your real life, like with Voxtrol. And we're here every week. And if you missed any part of the show is getting turned into a newsletter and a podcast. I really try to write the newsletter myself with no AI slop, so this takes a while. But a newsletter and a podcast so that you'd be able to get all the links from the show, everything we've talked about, and the opinions and testing out some stuff. So with that, thank you so much. Thank you, Ryan Carson. Thank you, Jan Pelix. Thank you, LDJ, Wolfram and Niston, Lou and Olive that joined us, and everybody here in the audience who helped bring us breaking news, to help tell us like some feedback. I appreciate all of you. Let's go to be AI native. Get some sleep, folks. It's really important for your health. The agents are not going to go anywhere. If anything, they're going to be better. So like you'll have to learn less as the more we kind of progress. So everything's going to be fine. With that, thank you so much, folks. We'll see you here next week. Bye-bye. Go play with the new models.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.